What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the DX9 Henry B version, or their version of a G2 Wildrider. So this is the second one I'm looking at here in the G2 color scheme, and I'm picking these up because they just announced the G2 Dead End, so I went back and found these guys. But here we have that Ferrari in this yellow and black scheme. I do think the black looks nice, and then this paint up here, black along the side, that all looks really good. Here's the taillights, translucent red with yellow paint on top. Got some nice fog lights here, nice painted grille. I do think the yellow could have stood to be a little bit darker. It's kind of a light yellow for me personally. You can open up the lights here, so you have headlights painted in silver. You can also open up the doors if you open up that bottom panel and then you detach the door. Actually open the door. Nowhere to sit, nothing to see inside, but you can actually open it if you like for display purposes. And yeah, overall a very nice looking vehicle. Here's the bottom. It does have rubber tires and die-cast wheels. One of the wheels on my copy anyway, this one is a little bit stuck. I think it's the rubber, or maybe this is a little bit off. I don't know. But this wheel tends to get caught up. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention they do have painted exhaust pipes. I appreciate detail like that. It does roll, it's just that one wheel that's a little stuck. But overall, it's a nice looking vehicle. You can't take the weapon here. It's just done in this blue plastic, no paint on it. This will plug in right here for vehicle mode. And for some comparisons, there it is next to the Fans Toys version of Wildrider, the original DX9 Henry, and the Magic Square Optimus Prime. And fits in nicely in alt mode. I think the drag strip was a little too big in its alt mode. This one, it seems to fit a little bit better. As far as compared to Fans Toys, you can see basically the same width, height, and length. I do much prefer the look of the Fans Toys, but here it is with the original. You can see they added the stripe, obviously changed it from gray to yellow. This one looks like it has a finish on it, whereas this one, I can't tell if it's just flecked plastic or has a finish. And then obviously on the side, they changed the red stripe to black. Other than that, it is the same. All right, now let's get Henry transformed into robot mode. Since it is the same as the original, I'm going to do it in fast forward here, so you can still see it, but we don't have to go into detail. And also just know this roof, it came off on the original very easily, and it's going to come off on this one too. So if you see it pop off, it's not broken, that's just how it is. So let's get transformed. All right, and there you have G2 Henry in robot mode. And it does look pretty good. I do wish the yellow was a little bit on the darker side. It's a little too bright. And I'm going to talk about that problem in just a second. But I do like the contrast with the metallic blue here on the arms, on the chest, silver for the chest. Nice metallic blue and purple for the eyes. That whole head looks really nice. Here's the back. Cleans up pretty nice. You don't have to, by the way, this pops off pretty easily, but you don't have to have this rotated if you want. Me personally, I think it actually looks better like this with the paint showing. So the official transformation has it the other way, but I like it like this. I'm going to leave it like that. One big problem though is the waist, the ab crunch. It's so loose that he won't even stand. So that's going to probably irritate me for the rest of this review. So I'm going to put some Kiki in there before we can move on. All right, and there's Henry now fixed up a little bit. It's still a little bit loose, to be honest, but at least it'll hold, it doesn't flop over. But that's kind of a big issue. But why don't we go over the articulation since we're talking about it. Head is on a ball joint, so you get side to side, rotates all the way around, and you get down to there, up to there. The ears move a little bit up and down, so you can kind of pose those a little bit. Shoulders rotate around on a friction joint out to the side. You can also lift up on this joint as well. If you want to get all the way up to there, you can. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. I hate having to hold this ab crunch. A rotation at the wrist, in and out movement at the wrist, kind of unexpected. The fingers are done the same way as drag strip. You have a single pin for the front fingers, which makes the pointer finger useless, and then the thumb is on a pin as well. For the waist, you have a waist rotation, ab crunch, which doesn't lock in place. I wish it did. For the legs, you have a hip skirt here, goes up to there, hip skirt on the back, back to there. Out to the side, all on friction, no ratchets. You have a drop down hip, but that's mainly for transformation. Rotation at the thigh. Single jointed knee gets you 90 degrees. You have an ankle tilt. You actually have a toe tilt independently do the transformation, but ankle tilt, it's on a ball joint. So a rotation, tilt, and pivot back and forth. As far as accessories, we do have that single gun. You can fold out the handle. That will fit into the hand. And it's tab style, so same as all the rest of the MP figures. And for a quick size comparison, there it is next to the Fans Toys version of Wildrider and the Magic Square Optimus Prime, which we always bring in. And you can see he's actually a little bit taller, a hair taller than the Fans Toys in robot mode. So these are bigger bots in general, but it still fits in relatively good in the MP scale. So final recommendations on the DX9 Henry B version. I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. It's going to be a partial recommendation. I actually do think it looks pretty good in vehicle mode, and as well as robot mode. I really like the silver paint and the blue paint they use for the face. But where it falls down is kind of the quality. The overall look, without paint on it, the plastic is not a shiny yellow. It's kind of a matte yellow. Not matte, but it's just not, it doesn't have a finish. And I think that makes it look kind of cheap. And this is definitely an issue, the ab crunch thing. You know, I had balancing here, but you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to balance it. So those little issues kind of hold it back. But if you're getting this set, you know, to complete G2 Stunticons, then you kind of have to have this guy. So, you know, he kind of just comes along for the ride. But that's just me being honest. I definitely prefer so far the drag strip. But we're going to take a look at all of these guys leading up to the Dead End, which is coming out very soon. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.